I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. What's come over me feels like I'm somebody else.
Hello guys. This is the Orange Hokage here, and today we are going to start a brand new series called, What If Naruto Was Neglected by His Family Part 2. So now let's get right into the story. 3 years later, 8-year-old Naruto Namikaze was walking down the streets of Konoha. No one dared to approach him, especially with his sister, Miley. Over the past 3 years, she became known as the strongest shinobi in Konoha, after beating every jounin shinobi in the village. After being insulted as a little girl, only a handful knew she could actually defeat the Hokage but didn't want to humiliate him, and was well respected by the other shinobi and villagers for being able to finish S-rank missions that would usually take up to half a year, a week or two to complete. Her intelligence reports were marked on until the Hokage decided to give all intelligence missions to her. Becoming a jounin at the age of 9 was something that no one had ever accomplished, making her the youngest jounin. At first, when they saw her hanging around with Naruto, they would criticize her and call her a demon lover, but word of her being the daughter of the most ruthless and scariest criminal known to mankind made them keep their comments to themselves. As to her promise, Naruto became quite a young shinobi. At a young age, he already demonstrated high understanding skills and was able to learn many things fast. He was a master in every ninja art as well as mastering Kuruma's power. He was taught many different languages, and with that including the secret language of the League, he knew a total of 10 languages in which he could speak, read and write in all fluently. He was taught by both his teachers everything that one could ever need to know. He also learned that the maids and butlers were all a part of the League, and so when Miley was away on a mission, they would teach him medical ninjutsu. The League taught a highly intellectual way of medical ninjutsu, something that he realized could help many shinobi in surviving. He met Ra's al Ghul, her father, a month later, and they hit it off right off the bat. Naruto found out that the man wasn't as scary as people said he would be. They both filled the void they both needed, for Naruto a father, and for Ra's the son he never had. He personally taught him Kenjutsu, and on his 6th birthday, it became both memorable and heartbreaking for him. Flashback: it was his 6th birthday party, or should it be called Naruto's party. Everyone forgot about him again. But this time he didn't care. His father then gathered the attention of everyone there and said, "Thank you everyone for coming to our lovely daughter's party. I want to make an announcement that we are going to make her the clan heiress for both the Namikaze and Uzumaki clans." Then there were cheerings and more gifts that were passed around. Jiraiya then let her sign the toad summoning, and that was when he had enough. He left the room leaving a slam, and then saw Miley down the street looking for him. He ran to her, leapt into her arms and started crying. During his sobs he told her what happened, and she was furious. Haven't these people done enough? She was going to go over and knock some sense into them, but remembered why she was looking for him and shined into his room. There she wiped his tears and told him that they had an important place to go to. He didn't know where they were gonna go, but anywhere that wasn't hair was good enough for him. She put on his suit, quickly fixed his hair and into their mansion. Once they got there, he took a quick glance around and noticed that the mansion was decorated. He looked at his sister, who was also dressed up. She wore a midnight blue dress and her hair was slightly curled. He wondered what exactly was going, until he opened the door and everyone yelled, "Surprise! Happy birthday, Naruto!" To say he was shocked was an understatement. What he saw in front of him was something he never thought he would ever have. His very own birthday party. He grinned and smiled and then broke down in tears. Not tears of sadness but tears of joy. The entire mansion was covered with balloons, streamers, and there was a large colorful and silk-like material banner that had "Happy Birthday Naruto" written on it. The people all there were a part of the League, but he also saw a lot of famous celebrities like actors and actresses. The food buffet had every type of food on it, mostly food he loved, along with new recipes the chef made for him alone, knowing he would like it. All in all, it was a sight to behold for him. "Come on, let's have some fun. I hope you like it, bro." "Like it? Nei-chan, I love it. Thank you so much." "Thank you all so much. Let's go open your presents, Or actually let's wait till my dad comes. He said he needed a bit more time in getting your present ready. I'm really excited. Aren't you? He nodded his head furious, and then the DJ started up the music. There was dances, games and just the mere fun of actually be crazy. An hour later, her father came indoors, and everyone bowed at his presences. He gave Naruto a hug and wished him a happy birthday and apologized for not being here sooner. He then told him to close his eyes, and once he did and opened them, there in front of him was a beautifully crafted sword with the cravings of a fox. On the fox, were the most rarest gems to humankind. Everyone there looked in awe, and as they looked closer, they saw that the edge of the blade was made out of pure diamond, the same as Ra's al Ghul's sword. I hope you like your sword. I could have sworn that I had enough time to finish it, but at least he was cut off by a tackling hug from Naruto. Thank you. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. Ne-chan, look, it really nice, isn't it? He asked happily. Yes, it is. You're lucky he made you one. He's too stingy to let make any for anyone. She was happy for him. Not long ago she found him weeping because his heir status was taken from him, and now he was laughing and overall just happy. Now it's my turn. I wanted to be the first person to give you a gift, but because she glared at her father, who had anime tears that his beloved daughter was angry at him, already gave it to you. She took out a scroll, and sure enough it was a summoning scroll. This contract belonged to my mother. She had a summoning contract with the dragons. They didn't just let anyone sign the contract. They believed that you had to be worthy of their power. I asked them to observe you while you trained with me for the past year, and they said they would accept you. They liked the determination in your eyes and your will to never give up. It's up to you if you want to sign it, though. She looked at him and from the stars in his eyes realized the only words he picked up from her talk were summoning, dragons and powerful. She sighed and gave him the contract. To say he was thrilled was the understatement of the year. Not only did he get a party, but he also got presents, and on top of that a summoning contract. He might have hated the day earlier, but he loved it now. End of flashback. During the years, Naruto's relationship with his family never improved. Not that he cared, since he had a family of his own now. He still had to live there, but just until he was a genin. Then he was gonna move out and live with his sister in her apartment in the village. He already had his own room but had to wait in order to be a genin, meaning he was an adult. He became friends with the Nara and Akimaki clan heirs, and saved the Hyuga clan heir from bullies, resulting in a friendship, secretly each other's crush. Hinata, just like Naruto, was thought to be unfit to being an heir, but her title wasn't taken from her. Miley made it upon herself that she would help Hinata in gaining more confidence, and also trained her as much as she could, since she didn't know much about the Hyuga clan's secret jutsus. Miley and Naruto also became friends with Hanabi, Hinata's little sister, who loved Miley so much that she wouldn't want to part from her. She, along with the other three, were the only ones that didn't fear Naruto as a demon and knew his real strength, which he planned on hiding till the Chunin exams. Miley, being the she-devil she was, tried to do so many fun activities with them in order for the other children in the village to feel left out and jealous. As they were walking down the streets, they were on their ways to the stores. Miley wanted to buy her brother new clothes, since he was starting the academy in a couple of days, so she wanted him to look his best. Once they got there, she made him wear different clothes, until she found the perfect match. She ended up buying him an Anbu-style pants, a black tight t-shirt with a white open shirt and fingerless gloves. For shoes, she bought him the normal shinobi sandals. They left the store, and on the way, she was tackled on the floor by none other than Hanabi. She, like Hanabi, loved the little girl to bits. She was sweet and adorable and wasn't afraid to speak her mind. "Hey there, Miley, Naruto, what are you guys doing here?" she asked in a sweet tone. Behind her was Hinata and her mother, who walked up and apologized her daughter's behavior. "I'm really sorry, Hanabi, get up. You don't just tack people on the floor," her mother said. Her mother were one of the few people in the village that Miley respected because she didn't see Naruto as a demon and was kind towards him. Anyone who hated her baby bro was an enemy in her book. "It's alright, Lady Hyuga. She's just taking advantage of the fact that I love her to bits, she said as she and Hanabi hugged the dear life out of one another. Hello Miley, and hello and Naruto-kun. Hinata said as she blushed. Hey Hinata, it was so cute that they liked each other and yet didn't have the courage to just say it. The other three just looked on and giggled at the obvious scene. Her mother didn't mind the fact that she liked the so-called demon and actually encouraged her daughter. We were doing last-minute shopping for the academy in a few days. You? We were doing the same thing, but for Hinata. I can't go yet because I'm small. She whined. Her mother and Miley laughed. Don't worry Hanabi, you'll start soon and then be the strongest in your class, right? Naruto said. He just like his sister loved the little girl. Come on, we have to hurry before it gets dark. And with that they left. I'll take the clothes back to your room at my place. You better get going bro. See you tomorrow, okay? As much as she hated it when he went home, he had to in order to avoid suspicion and keep up appearances. Okay Nei-chan, love you. She bent down and kissed his forehead and hugged him and said, love you too bro, and then went their separate ways. When he reached his house, he went in and saw his family already eating without him. This was something normal, and since he already ate with his sis, started to go upstairs when he was stopped by the Hokage that called to him. Naruto, come here and eat with us. He looked at him with a confused look and then said, I already ate outside. And then continued on his way up. His family wanted to try to get closer with him when they noticed today that they were closed and he was pushing them away. Earlier that day, Naruto told her parents that she realized she never hung out with her and that she knew next to nothing about her brother. Her parents tried to remember the times they spent with him, but couldn't remember. Kushina broke down crying, saying that she was a horrible mother, and Minato thought the same thing. It was true that they had neglected him for Naruto because they were afraid that he might go berserk, so focused on his sister in order to prevent it. They all thought that they were going to change. Especially Naruto. I'm going to get my brother back. She had stopped her bratty was long ago. So you could imagine their disappointment when he shot them down. But they weren't going to go down yet. After their meal, Naruto spoke up and said, say Dad. If we were to let him train with us, do you think that he would accept? I mean, he always wanted to, that's true. Minato, he have to try. He would love to train with us. He always asked. But we would say no, she said the last part sadly. Alright then, let's call him. Do you think he's asleep? He questioned. Just then they heard someone leaving the washroom, so they called him down. Naruto, come down for a bit, we have something important to tell you. Kushina said with hope in her voice. When he came down, he saw them all waiting for him and smiling, but he gave them a cold stare. They motioned him to sit down, so he sat. Naruto, we decided to train you along with your sister. Yeah, Nesan. Isn't that great? You always wanted to Sen and Kasen to train you, now they are. Let's be the strongest in the academy together. She said hopefully. They all looked at him with high hopes, but unfortunately it was shattered into a million pieces with his reply, I'm sorry Lord Hokage and Lady Namikaze, he spoke and said with venom, but the academy starts in a couple of days. You don't have to worry about me, your family doesn't need extra baggage to pull it down. Now if you excuse me, I will go to sleep. Then he stood up and was about to leave, but Naruto spoke up, Nai-san, what are you talking about? You're a part of. She was cut off when he glared at her with cold and lifeless blue eyes and said, don't kid yourself, daughter of the Hokage. I was never a part of your so-called family. Stop deluding yourself, he said, and as he started going up the stairs, added one more statement, funny, I never really thought myself a part of this family. And he left the Namikaze family brawling on the floor in tears, all thinking the same thing, what have we done? But they all had the same resolve, I'm gonna get my brother back. A couple days later Naruto woke up with a start as a voice kept telling him to wake up, and we all know who that is. The Helku. It's only 6:30 in the morning. The academy doesn't start till 8. Listen kid, if you don't wake up now the other people will try to talk to you again. It's getting really annoying, even for me. It was true. Ever since that day he shot them down, they wouldn't stop bothering him. They would try to talk to him at meals, or greet him when he came home. He was gonna snap, but Kuruma held him back. They also wondered who he hung out with, so when the Hokage's research turned up and that he was always with his most trusted shinobi, Miley, but when he called her in to ask her, she just glared at him and asked not to interfere with her personal life and then left. Naruto woke up, got dressed and then went downstairs and made breakfast. Over the years he bonded with the chef because he loved all his food and the chef was happy that his food was loved, so he taught him how to cook. After he ate, there was a bit leftovers that he covered and left it there in the kitchen. He left his compound just as Kushina woke up. She woke early in order to make a grand breakfast for her children who were starting the academy today. She was surprised when she saw her son and called out, "Naruto, where are you going?" "I'm going to make breakfast." She heard a muffled "I already ate," then a slam. She sighed. She wanted to get closer to her son, but instead it felt that they were further apart. "Kushina, what was that noise?" she heard her husband say as he came downstairs with their daughter trailing behind him. It was Naruto. He already left saying he ate. "I wonder how though." She said the last part mostly to herself and then heard a scream coming from the kitchen. They ran to see who it was and sure enough they saw their daughter. She walked away while Kushina was talking, eating a plate of food hungrily. She looked up and saw her parents looking at her curiously. "Naruto, what are you eating? I didn't leave any food on the counter." "Mom, if you didn't make this then who did? It's the most yummiest thing I've ever tasted. Come on, try it," she said as she shoved a spoonful of the food in both their mouths before they could say anything. Their eyes widened with every chew. It was true, it was the most delicious thing that they had ever ate. But the question remained, who made it? Then they all remembered what Naruto said and they realized that he was the one who made it. But how? "Mom, did you teach Nai-san how to cook?" She shook her head no. There was a moment of silence, then Minato spoke up, "I think you should get ready, Nariko. Since he'd also be there then we can ask him." And with that they got ready to leave. Back with Naruto, he just arrived at his sister's apartment and opened the door and went to her room, only to see the familiar sight of her still asleep. It was a known fact to those who knew Miley, or experienced it firsthand, like a couple of Anbu, that you never wake Miley Al Ghul while she's asleep, because if you do, you're in for a lot of hell. He looked at her and decided that he couldn't wait till she woke up and so decided to do what most sane people dreaded, wake her up. "Kid, are you sure? Don't you remember what happened last time when someone tried to wake her up?" Images of the tattered body of the poor Anbu, who was ordered by the Hokage to get her for a mission, flashed into their minds. The very thought made them shudder, but it was getting late and so he did what no sane living creature would do, he woke her up. "Nei-chan, wake up. It's my first day of the academy, remember? You said you would go with me." Silence. Nothing was said, so he tried again. This time he shook her lightly, which was returned with a glare, but when she saw who it was, softened it a bit and asked, "Oi Naru, what did I say about waking me up, huh? Are you trying to get yourself killed? Anyways, you wouldn't wake me up for no reason, so what is it?" She looked at him with half-opened eyes that widened when he told her that they were gonna be late. She got ready in 5 minutes time and then shined to the village market so she could buy some fruits. "Here bro, you're a growing boy so you need these." She handed it to him and then realized the glares around them. This was something she had gotten used to but wondered why she never just killed the bloody morons and get over it. But then that would mean her grandfather's sacrifice would be in vain. "Okay, break it up. We all love Naruto, we get the idea, so move along." Some scoffed and was about to say something, but a sadistic grin from Miley shut them up. As they neared the academy they were met with Choji, Shikamaru, and Hinata, who just arrived, so the five decided to walk to the academy together. Once they reached there, they saw all the other children and their parents including the Hokages. Everyone just stared at the five. As they were about to enter they heard the other say, "Why is the demon here? Shh. Don't say that. Look who is with him. She's the strongest shinobi and is on his side, don't play with him or go near him, okay? He's a demon." The Hokage and his family heard everything and couldn't believe what they heard. Their son, brother was being insulted right in front of them. Hey! What the hell are you saying about my son? Kushina yelled. She was furious. One of the civilians then came up to the Hokage and said, "Hokage-sama, please don't let the demon be a ninja." He was sent flying into a tree. They all looked and saw that it was none other than Miley who did so. She went to him, grabbed him by the hair and said with venom, "Say one more thing out of your filthy mouth and I'll make sure you won't be able to talk again." Permanently she let go and looked at the other civilians, who were shaking in fear, and said in her demon voice, "If anyone here says that again about my baby bro, I'll make sure you would have wished for death than what I have in store." Then she went back into the academy. The civilians, after a couple of minutes of staying frozen, walked their separate paths until it was just the Hokage's family left. Minato was shocked at the fact of what the villagers said about his son, no less with him there, finally snapped out of it and said, he was telling the truth. The other two just looked at him and said in unison, "What?" He looked at the with tears forming and said, "When GE said that the villagers would harass him, and we would hit him and say he was lying, he wasn't lying, he was telling the truth." With that, Kushina started to cry out loud as she remembered the times he would tell then, and then she would slap him for lying. Naruto couldn't believe it. The villagers who were so nice to her, were Satans towards her brother. "To-san, Ka-san, I'm going to class now. I'm going to protect my brother, know what happens, believe it." They nodded and then went their separate ways. When she entered the class, she saw her brother sitting beside a boy sleeping and a boy eating food. She wanted to sit next to him, but that was already not possible. She looked around and saw a shy, quiet girl and an empty seat next to her, and it was right behind her brother. Perfect, she thought, and sat next to her. As she came closer, noticed that it was the girl she saw earlier with her brother. She sat down next to the girl and introduced herself. "Hey there. The name's Naruto, what's yours?" Now Hinata knew the relationship of Naruto with his parents, but because she was asked by Miley to be nice and act as if she didn't know anything, she tried her best to smile and calmly reply, "Hello. I already know who you are. My name is Hinata." And with that she decided not to associate with her, but Naruto, being herself, continued, "I saw you with my brother this morning. Are you guys friends?" She didn't know how to answer that question, but luckily in came the savior of worried conversation, Miley, and behind her was Iruka, the teacher. Everyone admired her because of her accomplishments, so it would make people feel like the luckiest person on earth if she smiled at them or even talked to them. Unfortunately, Miley, hating the villagers due to what they did to her bro, wouldn't acknowledge any of them, except a few. "Miley, what are you doing here? I don't think you want to come back here again now, do you?" He sighed. "PSST, Iruka, did you hear yourself? Again? What again? I've never came to this place before. Besides, I came to see my bro and listen to what you have to say to them. If it's useful, then continue on. If not, then I have some scrolls I want him to decipher. I'm too lazy to do it myself." She shrugged and then walked towards where Naruto and his friends were. All the while, Iruka had many things going through his mind. Decipher? Who at this age could decipher languages? And who exactly is her brother? He looked up, he saw her walk towards the back, but was shocked, along with everyone else, when he heard, "Oi Ne-chan, the hell you doing here? I thought the Hokage was gonna give you a mission." Naruto was first surprised, and a burst of happiness was inside her when she heard her brother's voice, but it was destroyed instantly when she saw that he wasn't talking to her, but to Miley. "Ne-chan?" She thought what everyone thought. "Sorry bro, forgot to tell you I asked for a day off. I remembered the scrolls I found a couple of months ago and wanted to decipher it. If Iruka's teaching things you already know, then see me at the back, okay?" He nodded and then she went to sit at the back. "Hey Naruto, isn't Naruko your sister? Why are you calling her that?" barked Kiba. Everyone looked at Naruto, curious at his answer, even Iruka and Naruto, but were surprised when they saw him laughing in tears. When he finally calmed down, he said, "Don't kid yourself. I've never seen her or her parents' family," he said with disgust. This got everyone wondering the status of the Hokage's family, everyone except Shikamaru, Choji, and Hinata. Putting on her headphones, Miley started to work, as if it was a normal thing to do. She looked up and saw that they didn't start, so said, "Yo Iruka, I think you should start your lesson now. I want my bro to come help me with this." Then went back to deciphering the text. Soon enough the class began, and as soon as the first subject was over, she motioned Naruto to come to the back. Iruka saw this but let them before he was curious what the Hokage's eldest could actually do. While the class was given work to do independently, he walked over to where Naruto and Miley were deciphering the scrolls and was surprised. He saw Naruto writing down the translated meaning down with ease, and didn't have to look at the books they had right by them. He saw them comparing and asking one another things, as if they were fascinated by what they found. This can't be work that the Hokage gave them. Does he even know about his son being able to read ancient languages? He thought as he looked over their shoulder. He was shaken out of his thoughts when he heard, "Sup Iruka? You finding our work interesting?" she asked. "I was just wondering, how do you know how to decipher such old and ancient languages? Especially you Naruto." Now all eyes were on him. Even Naruto wanted to know the full capacities of her brother's secret skills. All she knew now was that it had something to do with Miley. "My sister taught me. It's pretty simple really, and no, the Hokage never asked us to decipher them." He got a surprised look from Iruka, then turned to Miley who nodded, allowing him to continue. "It's something we do for fun, like a hobby. Some contain stories of the past, or cultures of extinct clans. Some even mention the existence of clans that no one knew ever existed. That's usually for two reasons. One is that they're long gone and the second is that they are in hiding. Nei-chan usually looks for them when she goes out for missions, so yeah." When he finished, they all either looked at him with respect, admiration, jealousy, or didn't care. "Yeah right. Some demon like you wouldn't be smart. You baka," screeched a certain pink-haired banshee. "Yeah, Sasuke-kun is much better than you, demon." That and various things were being said by Sasuke's fan group, along with some of the other students, but were silenced when they felt a monstrous killer intent coming from Miley, which shut them up. "How much languages do you know Naruto?" Iruka asked with curiosity, but was cut off by the bell. "I guess that's something you won't know, right Naru?" He nodded and then proceeded to pack up and leave. "I must tell the Hokage about this. His son is a genius. He doesn't need to be at the academy." After the children started to leave, he saw the Hokage and his wife at the entrance of the academy, probably here for their children. He went up to them and was about to tell them about Naruto but stopped when he glanced at him from behind the Hokage and shook his head, meaning don't tell them. He didn't but wanted to know why his relationship with his family was bad, when he noticed them looking at his with guilt. The next day, Miley needed to go on a mission, so in the middle of the class she came in through the window, with a stack of books and scrolls and said, "In League language I need you to decipher these Naru. I did some and I think it's a story, it's real interesting, so hurry in League language. Come on sis, I wanted to sleep through the class, can't we do it when you get back?" In League language, "No, my mission is about a week or two, give or take, long, and I want to read it when I get back." In League language, "Fine, but you owe me some ramen." "Thanks bro, oh and don't forget to clean my place. You already have the keys." "Hell, no, fine, I hate you so much you know," he said as he grinned. She laughed and kissed him on the forehead and then said, "Love you too bro," and then shined away. He turned to the stack given to him, sighed and then went to the back to work on it. They just had their entire conversation in the middle of class and went about as if it was nothing. Of course the three already knew and so wasn't as shocked. Iruka just had one thing in his mind, these are gonna be a really long 4 years. So that's it for today guys. If you like this story and want more then please subscribe and turn on the bell icon. Until then take care and goodbye.